how would you describe occult in one sentence that captures the entire essence of the concept and it's clearly understandable by everyone?
I think what is happening is people are replacing magic with logic.
Okay,
If you take out the logic from
from
your
magic.
life and just let it be, you'll find the magic in your life. Before you were born into this world, before you came into this world, your reset, your setting was already done. And as I said, magic means does not mean as people portray candles, mantras, everything. Nothing matters.
Have you ever encountered something magical, something that defied reason, or something that is, you know, difficult to explain?
Everything. I think I lead the most magical life. So yes, I have seen a lot of magical things and I continue seeing it every day.
So how would you describe occult in one sentence that captures the entire essence of the concept and it's clearly understandable by everyone?
Okay. I think what is happening is people are replacing magic with logic.
Okay,
If you take out the logic from
from
your
magic.
life and just let it be, you'll find the magic in your life. And as I said, magic means does not mean as people portray candles, mantras, everything. Nothing matters. Even if you just keep chanting your own name, you'll reach somewhere. Even if you start saying anything gibberish also, which means nothing, you'll still reach somewhere. Because before you were born into this world, before you came into this world, your reset, your setting was already done. You are already the carrier of all knowledge. You already have the knowledge inside you. It's all embedded inside. All you need to do is take it out, dig it out. The problem is we are too busy in digging others' lives than our own lives. So the moment our focus goes from our neighbors to us, I think we'll understand what a cult is and how to get the magic back into your life.
So can we say occult is a extended form of meditation or maybe an advanced form of meditation? Because ultimately what I am understanding that it is more about self introspection and realizing about your inner strength.
I think it's all about taking responsibility
Hmm.
of your own self, of your actions.
Okay.
If you have the strength to be responsible for your
Hmm.
actions and don't blame anyone else, you get the power back and you get your life set.
Have you ever encountered something magical, something that defied reason, or something that is, you know, difficult to explain?
Everything. I think I lead the most magical life because every day when I wake up in the morning and every day I barely get chance to sleep actually because of the rituals and my own practice, sadhana and writing and everything. But every day I find my life magical, don't you? I mean, every day there's something else happening. Every day there's a different me that I feel that I've encountered. Every day when my son says something, I suddenly see that I've learned a different perspective. You know,
Okay.
when you become parents, I think it's the most magical thing because then what happens, I'm sure you would also know, that you become a higher human being. You become a higher self of yourself. Have you ever noticed that with children around? When you have children around, they teach you so many things
Yes.
that suddenly you think that you're not capable of this, but you have done this. You know, you never thought that you're capable of this, then you start doing all that. So life truly per se, I have seen, if you're talking about magical things, yes, I have seen people with 10 years of disease come out of it. I have seen people who couldn't walk have started walking. I
Okay.
have seen people who have been, you know, I'm not saying that I have done anything to them, but I'm saying that I have seen these things also in very different places where people couldn't see have started seeing. So yes, I have seen personally also in my own life. I have seen people who have not done anything for years. They have started doing things. So yes, I have seen a lot of magical things, and I continue seeing it every day.
In our hyper modern digital age, what do you think we as human race has missed out on our old ancient information or mystical knowledge that we had? Don't you think that we have the kind of information or the kind of knowledge, the ancient knowledge we had across the years, we have lost it, or maybe we have, taken it in a different tangent because of so many, like it's plethora of information available out there. So most of that is like, diluted, and not the actual information has been passed on.
There is a lot of knowledge everywhere right now. You're right. There's a lot of knowledge, but the knowledge is there. Knowledge is not going to do anything. If the knowledge would do anything, then a librarian would have become
The
something
most
else altogether,
smarter.
the most smartest person around. But it's not about that. It is implementing the knowledge that you have into your life, which can change you. But no one has the time because people are constantly on a dopamine rush. They are constantly scrolling, as you said about the digital age. We are constantly scrolling. We are addicted to scrolling. We are addicted to, getting that dopamine effect that we want to feel good all the time. That is happening. We don't want to be alone anymore. So people are scared of being alone. So when what you're talking about knowledge, see, it happens when people get spiritual. Let me digress from the topic
Hmm.
that you said because it calls for something else. When people get spiritual, why do they get spiritual? In most cases, people get spiritual because they are missing out something in life. Some depression, some loss, something somewhere, some heartbreak, or a major loss in your life. That is what brings you to a part. When you don't find something, you look for something else.
Exactly.
That is when people rush to an astrologer. That is when people rush to these tantrics. This is exactly what happens, right?
Hmm.
Then you get lost either in that trap, either you get there, or there are people who get inward. There are some people who are going outward
Okay.
to get help. There are some people who are going inward to get help. The people who are going inward, they can again digress in two directions, one towards light and one towards
Oh,
darkness. One can go further into depression, the other can go towards the light and they will get the knowledge and start understanding, decoding them, because you need to decode what you get.
exactly.
Okay. Today, if you get a diamond, also you need to actually understand that that is diamond. If you can lose a diamond actually. If you find a diamond, not everyone can understand what a
Agree.
diamond is like. So it is like that. So people are using a lot of their time wasting on social media rather than putting information. We are at a golden age of information. We do have a lot of information, but the information is not being implemented and integrated in the right way. That is why there's so much of distress.
Do you think modern India is ready to re-engage with these traditions, or can they coexist in today's age
It's a very
and without
tricky
judgment?
situation, tricky question. No, the point is, there were always different tribes there. They will always be. And not just the Tantrics and the Aghoris. There are various other sects which are there, which you don't get to see them. They are not even there in social media. And if you're telling me that an Aghori is on the social media, they are not Aghoris.
Okay.
With then they have lost that Agori touch also. I have not seen a digital Agori yet.
Hmm.
But there are a lot of people who attach their Agori names along with their names on
Okay.
social media, and I have heard people talking about it. People ask me questions also. But if you actually see, if he was an Agori, he wouldn't be there on Instagram, for heaven's sake. I mean, he wouldn't be anywhere. I have known Aghoris. I have seen Aghoris from very closely. I have seen tantrics. I have seen people who have studied so much into it. They will never say that I know this and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. No, there are people, there are tribals who know. much more than these aghoris and tantrics who are there, which you will not find them anywhere. They will not come in front of you. If you know something, they are not going to talk about it. If you study, you want to grow the knowledge, yes, share the knowledge. But this is not about knowledge. This is about misinterpretation of the knowledge that you have. It's if you're talking about the uniform, yes, many people are wearing the uniform of an Aghori and sitting somewhere. That doesn't make them Aghori. That makes them probably a clone or a morphing
Clone.
or a a kind of
Wanna be a Kori.
yeah, I want to be a Aghori somewhere. I feel like almost like a fancy day, fancy dress competition happening all over the world. It's like that.
What type of education or degrees needed to practice occult and demonology? Is there a any kind of formal education to be done?
No, no, it's not about formal education at all. It is just about you understanding yourself. See, the formal education is there, but that is there in metaphysics, that is there in astrology. These are sciences which you need to know, which you need to understand. But if you don't have it inbuilt in you, you will not understand any of this. So there are a lot of people who are studying, but it's almost like, see, there are so many people who are going to a class. I
Okay,
think education ruins it.
okay.
Education ruins what a person knows.
But we need someone, everyone who is going to get some kind of education, they need someone to guide them to the right set of
PhDs
knowledge.
are available for metaphysics, they are
Okay.
available for astrophysics, they are available in astrology, but you need to have that inner understanding and wisdom to understand that. So there can be photography classes,
Hmm.
but anyone who's attending a photography class will not become a master key photographer.
But
You
how
need to
one
have that
someone,
essence.
but speaking about occult specifically, how one someone will know that they have this thing in them that they want to go or understand or maybe learn or uh, you know learn more about occult or
See, if you understand, everyone understands about occult.
okay,
Because as children, when we are born,
hmm,
we are all magical.
okay,
We all believed in fairies. We all believed in rainbows. We all believed in that magical world, didn't we?
right,
When did it all stop?
when
When
we
did you
started
stop
making
believing?
sense,
When you
maybe it
started,
started thinking
when you
logically.
started thinking, putting in what everybody told you.
Hmm.
So you lost that magical touch then and there. But still, there are people who did not lose that touch and continued believing in them. It is for them. It is
Okay.
not for everyone. It is, as I said, when you keep out the logic out of your life, you just need to keep out 2 plus 2 is 4. You need to remove that from your life. When you
Hmm.
get to 2 plus 2 is 22, then you'll understand occult. Then you'll understand the magical symbols. Symbols and symbolisms are everywhere for you to understand. Some people catch it, some people don't. So when I look at a person and I hear them talk, I sense certain things which they have. So I say that this person has it in him to understand it. And when I hear certain people, no matter how much you bang their head into the wall, they will not understand it. It's like believing in God and not believing in God. See, you believing in God or not believing in God is not making a difference to God.
Right.
How does it matter?
Hmm.
So you believing in occult or not believing in occult doesn't change the system of this world. It is just like that. There are believers, there are non-believers. And I have always mentioned to everyone that I am not supposed to turn a non-believer into a believer. That's not my job. I mean, I am not even doing anything to make a non-believer becoming a believer. Why should I? It's their problem. It's not my problem. I am a believer. I have seen my life change.
Hmm.
That's what matters to me. And if people are interested in changing their lives, who are interested, if they come to me, if they do exactly as I tell them to do, their life is going to change. If you don't do it, it's not going to change. So whose loss is it?
Nowadays we have seen, on social media there are too many things and many people talking about do some astrological thing or activity to attract money or to get good health and xyz many things. How accurate these things are which are on social media, and what actually how would you say that these are true or not?
As I said, everything that you think is going to happen and can happen is true. Even if you stand probably, or even if you throw a stone somewhere, and if you think that if I throw a stone in this direction and it's going to come true, it will come true. But the point is, it's not about that. There's too much of noise all around.
Yes, that is.
I mean, if you go to social media, it's too much of noise. And it's not only about occult, it's about health also. You eat this, somebody is saying you don't eat that. Somebody is saying you have coffee, somebody is saying don't have coffee. Somebody is saying have tea, somebody is saying don't have tea. I mean, what are you going to listen to actually? So it is all about noise right now. I think it again segregates the believers and the non believers. I think if you believe, and I think you need to ask yourself that question. Most people, there are certain people and most people who come to me and say, should I do it this way? Should I place this there? Should I place it over there? If I place it over there, then what is going to happen? If I place it over here, what is going to happen? I mean, these are very silly questions. I never asked anyone that what am I supposed to place where. Like if you see that murtis of gods, okay, there are certain murtis which are there, and people say if I have more than two murtis in the same house, it's going to be very difficult. Then somebody said you should not have red in the puja room. And then somebody says you should not have black in the puja room. All these things keep happening, right? I think you should ask yourself, do I feel nice if I put it there? If I feel nice, let's do it.
Okay.
Because it is about what you understand within you, what is ultimately going to help you. If you're doing something against your will, it's best that you don't do it. And if you follow your heart, like my grandmother always said, that whatever you decide in your life, ask yourself.
Okay.
First, ask yourself, because there's no point asking anyone else because they're not living your life for you. Because you need to ask yourself only. Don't ask others because they don't know. Don't ask anyone. Like I definitely believe, don't ask about money who doesn't have money.
Yeah.
Don't ask about business ideas to somebody who has not done a business. Don't ask anyone to about anything, especially when they don't.
So, is there any clear form of knowledge center that people can refer to when they seek or when they want to have some astrological questions or astrological need, if they can have something that they can go to and refer to and get a clear and a very correct answer? Is there
Brilliant. It's
anything?
a brilliant question actually.
Hmm.
So again, there are two schools of thoughts. Okay, I follow my own school of thought actually in this. When I see a chart, if I see a chart at all, and then I see there are certain placements which are there according to the planetary positions, I believe that those positions are created in your chart based on your past life. Okay, you die at a certain time. There is a certain gap that you have in between, and then you're born depending on your karmic stuff, karmic debt. Then you're born at a certain time. You're born in that alignment of those planets being there. That is a map that you have, but you have a bigger map and a bigger brain that you have,
Hmm.
which thinks, which works. If I think something, if I am highly willpowered, okay, and if I want something in my life which doesn't match my chart, I'll just trash my chart. Okay. And that is exactly what I've done. I have trashed it because everybody said she can't do anything. Okay, so I trashed it and I decided what I wanted to do for myself. And I stuck to it. So I tell everybody who comes to me for a chart, I ask them, do you want to follow that chart? If you want to follow that chart, there are a lot of implications to that. Then there are a lot of things that you need to maintain there. There are a lot of the same pattern. You need to follow that. And you will remain in that same position. It's like working for somebody. Okay. So I am working under those situations and I'm there. But if you decide, do you have the willpower to decide something? Have a big dream, dream bigger than your thought, what you are right now,
Mhm.
then don't follow that chart. Then
Okay.
follow that dream. You have to follow that dream, keep the chart aside, and your dream has to happen if you have a big dream. And dream big, never dream small because I think it's a waste of time.
What people should refer to? Is there any form of literature or any source of information that people should refer to get their their astrological thoughts or astrological questions answered,
There
or
are so
because,
many. There are so many astrologers today. If you
but
go,
how
look
to
at your
know?
chart.
But
Very difficult to understand how to know who is authentic and who is not.
exactly,
No, no. There is no parameter of authenticity when we come to charts. There are many people, and nowadays you have softwares which are available to get your chart right at least. But is that what you're looking at? That's not the life that you're looking at. Are you doing service? Did you ever think of taking up a job somewhere? I'm asking you.
I did a job, but that was for a very brief time.
And why did you leave it?
I wanted to learn how the things. That was basically like a learning phase for me.
So you wanted to grow bigger, of
Exactly.
course, right? So it is exactly like that. If you're following your chart, you're never going to grow bigger than your chart. You have to grow bigger and bigger as much as you can grow, like a tree.
Hmm.
There is no limitation to that. So as a human being, you have no limitations on your life if you think that I don't have a limitation. If you want to limit yourself, look at a chart. If you don't
Okay.
want to limit yourself, don't look at the chart. Just think what you want to do, you'll be able to do that. That's it.
If someone wants to begin their journey with symbolism or these rituals, where they should start with, or how do they go about it?
It's such a it's a brilliant question, but I don't know what to say about this because I always think and how I train my students,
Hmm.
okay? Let me
Right.
tell you how I think about how I train them. I ask them what is it that they're looking at. See, say you want to have a sandwich today.
Hmm.
What do you need for a sandwich? You need bread. Then you get the bread. What is the stuffing that you want? You've already thought about it in your mind that I want to have a chicken sandwich today or a cheese sandwich today. Depending on whatever you want, you get it. So that thought needs to be there. So I always tell them what is the outcome you're looking at because everything changes with the outcome. Today, if I want to be an athlete, my lifestyle will be completely different.
Hmm.
My food habits, my waking up, my sleeping, my body rest will depend on that. Today, if I want to be a practitioner of occult or something mystical or something unknown, if I have to open myself to the unknown, then of course my lifestyle will be slightly different. Then my questions will be different.
Hmm.
The moment I ask questions to myself, also, my higher being will answer that, which is already, we call it Atma, Paramatma. We say,
Okay.
right? It
Right.
is
Right.
all inside. Why do we say it's all inside then? Why don't we say we have to look at that wall, that mufti, we have to see it outside? Projection outside is, how do I say, 1/10 of importance of projection inside.
Inside that you
It's
have.
not even important. Today I have to ask myself a question, what am I trying to achieve? Today, if I want to go to an astrologer, why I want to go to an astrologer? If I want to start my practice, why I want to start my practice? The answer to that question would depend on the answer that you have. What is my goal?
Okay.
So if I want to become, say, if I just want to if I just want to have the know-how of everything, what is that know-how I want to have about? Then I will, guide you accordingly. But most of the things that I have learned, the moment you ask a question, the moment you open yourself to that, you start getting the answers from the source. You will not even have to do anything about it. You don't need a book. You'll be guided to that book. Today, if we are sitting here and talking about it, it took us 1 year plus to actually sit here and talk about it, right?
Hmm.
There was everything was not matching. Today everything is matched.
Match.
Why? Because the time is right. Today we were supposed to talk about it. Similarly, when somebody has to start, they have to start with a question. Why they
Why
want to
they
do
want?
it. And the moment you have that why, you will be led to your next path.
What about folklore? Can you just give us a brief understanding what exactly it is? How does this operate? And why you started this actually? What was your thought behind starting folklore?
I'll tell you. Uh, so I have this intense hunger in me to learn about occult, like as you
Hmm.
said today, that what to do. And we always are led to the wrong people. I went to many places, got looted. I lost a lot of money.
No.
I lost a lot of faith. I lost a lot of my understanding and my sanity trying to look for people. I went to, every breath and corner to find out a person where I'll get my answers.
Can you share some incidents that you got, that you?
I wouldn't like to take names, but yes,
Without naming.
I have been to very different places. Mostly, I was delusional, you know.
Okay.
So all my illusions about magic and understanding and spirituality, they were like ripped off. Okay,
Okay.
so I was left with nothing, and then I thought that, you know, some ideas I should get from my grandmother, something I learned from her, some tips she gave that how I should conclude, how I should, and she said it when your time is right. So she said something very clearly that. When the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yes,
Okay, this is
okay.
a very old saying. Okay, so when your time is right, it will come. You don't have to rush. She was way ahead of her times when it came to things like this. So she told me that, and one thing I always follow is I follow my heart. Always, this is one benchmark I always follow. No matter, I will not run behind money. I will not run behind power. I will not run behind anything. I'll run after my heart.
Heart.
If my heart says this is wrong, I will not do it. I'll stop then and there. So it's like that. So the experiences that I had was, I did many things, went to many people, money started going out like that, as I said. So these were kind of experiences that I had. So I lost a lot. Basically, a lot of loss happened. I was in a lot of depression, went into a lot of depression. I didn't know I was under a lot of misconception. You know what happens when you're in a heartbreak? That kind of a situation happened. And then I started my journey with it, that there are many people like me who go through troubled times, who are losing their things. And of course, when the loss happened, then you have to recover the loss, right? How do you recover the loss?
Right.
Then I started using and making, experimenting with things that I learned over a period of time with things. And I started creating smokes, different kinds of smokes, different combination of smokes, which are like you burn and you get that fume, okay?
Oh, great.
So I learned uh, from an African tradition that if you mix certain things and then you mix certain other things, then the effects are different. So I created 3 4 smokes of that kind, and I priced them at 3,000 rupees. This is I'm talking about in the year 2004. Because 3,000 was a lot of money at that point of time. So anyway, I created those. And why was it created? So that people like me who can't find the right results from tantrics or from astrologers or from other people, they just burn that and they get the result.
All right.
So I practiced it myself, I used it on myself, and then I saw things recovering, I was recovering slowly and slowly.
Okay.
I changed my mindset. I started focusing on what I wanted than focusing on what I didn't want. And then things started slowly but surely changing. So that is what I did. And then I created those smokes for other people when they were going through difficult times. I gave it to them. I asked them to use it, cleanse their house. So it would take you to a frequency. As I said, frequency and vibration changes everything. So that frequency was created, frequency for money was created, frequency for work was created, frequency for taking people out of depression was created, frequency for taking people out of bad health was created. So I mostly focused on health and money. So that is where people really needed help. That is where I got into. I am not a very good person to do with relationships, though hundreds of mails that I get every day. Not anymore because people have understood that I don't work on those things anymore. And that is how I changed, started. And people would use that smoke, use it for a month, then they would buy it again. So it was something that would keep your house cleansed and keep it in a frequency to achieve certain things. So that is where folklore started. It started with astrology also. So I started with checking people's charts, and I would check all that, and then I would see that nothing would change. Even no matter, and I would never recommend stones generally, because I think that people, if they don't have the mind to make the stones work, the stones will not work for them. So I wouldn't do that. I just kept seeing that changing the chart or giving them explanation of the chart or giving them the remedies for the chart also didn't work even 1/10 of what the smoke worked.
Oh,
So then I started creating more things and started making folklore into a place where people would come to buy those and change their lives. Later on, I started teaching, and right now I'm more into empowerments. It's
right.
been 22 years, and of course, you need to keep improving
Improving.
yourself in a different way. Now, when I see a person coming and sitting in front of me, I generally understand what their problem is and what they need,
All right.
even
Without
when
even
they don't.
talking, kind of.
Generally, yes.
Okay.
Generally, I understand. Not without talking, in the sense, of course, if somebody is coming to me, they are in deep shit anyway.
Okay.
I already know it, so I wouldn't ask them, "Are you in trouble?" Of course, they're
But
spending
what
so
kind
much.
of trouble they have?
No, there are a lot of people who say,
Hmm.
"I've understood that you have this problem and that problem." That's really
Ah,
corny. You
all
already
right.
know that somebody has come to you means they're in deep shit already. And when people come to me, I definitely know they have gone to 10 other places and come to me,
Oh, okay.
because I'm not really cheap, and I'm not very affordable for most people.
All right.
So, but I know what works and what doesn't. So I will not give you trial and error. I know I will put you in rigorous training for yourself. You might have to change your diet. You might have to change your habits. You might have to change a lot of things that you have in your life, without which it will not happen.
Happen.
So you have those non-negotiables that you need to follow if you come to me. And if you follow those and the rest of the things that I tell you, it'll work. It has to work.
It was great speaking to you, Meenakshi. Very insightful and very eye opener for us also. Thank you for taking out time and having this episode with us.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. And you've had great questions. It's the
Thank you.
questions that makes the answers easy.
Okay. The topic itself is very,
It's
very
huge, actually. It's huge. I mean, today you've just scraped the surface probably.
right.
So
I
you
think
can
we
go
can have
deeper.
more of these episodes maybe at a
Definitely.
later stage.
Sure. And I also believe that, as like most people, when it comes to astrology or any of these occult subjects, people limit themselves. That
Okay.
is what the problem is. I think human problem is limitation. If you take out the limitations from your life and know that everything is possible, you can actually create everything that you want.
Exactly.
This is the only thing that I would like to tell everybody. And you can also say this to your viewers, that they need to follow a non restrictive move.
Thank
Follow your heart. That's all that I would say.